I would now like to give the floor to Mr. Andrius Kubilius for a welcoming remark. The floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, participants of the conference, colleagues, first of all, let me thank the organizers of this European Forum for this important initiative, for the invitation to be the patron of this event, and the invitation to participate in it. As a Prime Minister, I find the invitation to play this role quite important, and therefore I would like to say a few words with respect to how I see the topic of the United Europe and United History, and what I would like to emphasize here. Yes, indeed, Europe has been coming through major transformations. We often speak about European crisis, about Europe's financial and economic crisis. And Europe has this feature from the very beginning, from the sixth, from the 50s, from the Treaty of Rome, to undergo certain crises. And it makes it more consolidated, more reinforced. And as I'm an optimist, I believe that Europe will also complete this crisis more consolidated, more united in political terms. And in this respect, it is very important that on this political unification way, Europe does not lose one of the very important aspects, which is the united values, common values, perception of its foundation. It is obvious that when speaking about unified values of Europe and its foundation, we are speaking about the common perception of Europe's history. It doesn't mean that we want to see the unified history, the same history of Europe. It means rather that we want to view the diversifying history of Europe by applying the same value standards. And when speaking about consolidation of Europe, its political consolidation, we inevitably have to speak about the consolidation of values and consolidation of European memory. It is obvious that this is not an easy process. The Prague Declaration, adopted in 2008, not only raised ambitious goals, but also opened certain psychological insights, which poses a big threat to forget about big values. We should not try to make opposition between certain ideologies, because the pain of each person is incomparable to others. Totalitarian crimes are united only by the period and the place where they were committed. In this respect, Lithuania, just like other countries of our region, is exceptional. And here we can remember Timothy Schneider's, a famous historian, books, Bloody Land. And this term of bloody land can be applied to Lithuania, Latvia, Ukraine, the countries that suffered most from two dreadful totalitarian regimes of the 20th century. The Nazi and Soviet regimes, assisted by local collaborants, made something which is extremely difficult to unravel. Our people threw challenges to these two totalitarian regimes. I'm not going to speak about all the activities, everything that our government has done in order to restore the historical justice with regard to the Jewish community. Attention to Litvak's historical heritage is far from all, and I hope that the future government will continue our activities. And I hope that when we restore the historical justice, we gain wider possibilities to require other countries to compensate for the harm done to Lithuania, for our countries. And on this occasion, I would like to quote one state leader. Quote, "For what was happening there, the whole bunch of the Soviet leaders, not only Stalin but other leaders as well, deserve the strongest evaluation. That has to remain within our memory so that it is never repeated, because struggle against your own citizens is the biggest crime." End of quote. These words were uttered by the Russian Prime Minister, Mr. Dmitry Medvedev, a few weeks ago. These words show that an important breakthrough is having place in Russians' historical memory, and I believe it's a highly welcomed changes. Let's believe that these efforts to openly assess the Soviet crimes will mark the beginning of the new era. On its own turn, Lithuania is ready to give a lot of attention to the investigation of Soviet crimes and their public dissemination, and I hope that other European countries will also join actively this process. One of the sponsors of this conference is the European Commission, and I would like to express my gratitude to it for that. Let me wish you fruitful and interesting discussions, the results of which will be extremely interesting to all of us here in Lithuania and the whole Europe and Europe's future. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for your insightful and very concise presentation, which will bring us to the following words. And